You've got to be around me to know me. Don't pop in for 10 minutes and go, woof that. I'm out of here. Do you understand what I'm saying? Come in a few nights on the trot. Gets interesting. And they only last a few weeks. Get kicked off. That's how interesting it is. Yes, great buzz. Michelle saying I scroll. Good on you, lad. Machiavelli. It's mad the way people proclaim themselves never to be envious, never to be jealous of something. How can fake are people? Oh, you're jealous. I do get jealous, lads, but not over that. But I get jealous, kid. Defo. I wouldn't be a man otherwise. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I get jealous when my bird's down there with the whoever. I'm like on edge. Where's my bird? Not in a bad way, you know, just in a little personal mess. You wouldn't be a man otherwise, lad. If your man can float round with someone and you're not getting, if your bird can float round and you're not getting a little bit, wow. Trust me, lad, just break up with it. Chemistry's gone. And I don't mean, see, now there you go. Straight away, you get put into a character, don't you? As soon as you say, yeah, I get jealous. Not all jealous people are vindictive, nasty bastards. That's where you get twisted. It's like, not all drug dealers come from poor backgrounds. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's alright to get a little bit gel, mate. Sweet as that. Let you know you're some real as. Even when you get a little bit envious, what are you getting envious over? What is there to get envious over? Do you understand? What's your image of being rich in life, lad? Just sit there with your mind and just have a little think to yourself, right? What's your image of being rich? Do you understand what I'm saying? What is your image of being rich? In your little mind, your head, your vision. Being rich is an image of what for you? A car, nice house, Rolex, car. Is that an image for you? Yeah, you got people saying a yacht. You got people saying your health is your wealth. Mel Cooper speaking pure sense. Got people saying gold floors, Gucci socks. And this is what I'm saying. So your image of being rich is that nice car and that watch. My image is my children and my bird with me. That's rich. Rich. Doesn't matter if you haven't got all the materials in the world. Just being with this makes you very rich indeed, mate. Do you understand? That's why we're different, lad. I was like you. Family was second to making dough. No, I was agreed. Everyone got the fair share, but I wanted more. I wanted that S4. I wanted that R32. I wanted that S3. I wanted that R1. I just wanted them so I could park them up my Mars path. Couldn't drive them. They were all sat outside my Mars path for months. I had to sell them with a £3 loss on each car. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we've had all that bullshit, thinking that materialistic bullshit is worth more than the family, when it's not. And you only get to realise that really when you do a long term in prison. There's only one thing on your mind when you're in jail, and that's your loved ones, not your car. You can't be arsed with your car. The first thing you're doing is trying to get rid of it. If it hasn't been took off you, the first thing you're doing is trying to sell your shit as soon as you've got in custody. It's a mess, mate. So change your perception on what being rich in life is. You've got a list of priorities. You need to put money right down there and replace it with family. If you're lucky enough to still have them round you, cherish it. If you're unlucky enough to sacrifice them because you've got to, don't worry about it. Create your own like I have. You know, if you've got to detach yourself from that pile of shit, do it. Create your own. Don't let that shit rub off on this. So you can call me what you want. What do you call me? Hostel life. This isn't a hostel, mate. I'd rather be in jail than a hostel. And I think 80% of the people in a hostel now, if they could go into a cushy jail like Larden Grange, they'd go. I'm telling you. Just to get away from the madness, mate. I'm happy though, mate, you know. Sometimes I might come across like I'm unhappy, but that's just a mental battle I'm going through. Me sat here, a basic life, basic lifestyle, children that I thought I didn't have, not in prison, not involved in any crime. I'm blessed right now, considering what I've just come through. I've never been like this, free. Every year of my life was prison. Even if I'd done 4 months here, 2 months there, 3 months there in 1 year. Do you understand? From the age of what? 15? Yeah, so my first sentence was 14. Got out to 16. Was out for about 6 or 7 months. And then every year, every birthday and Christmas, I was in prison about 2-2, 2-3. It's the only 2 years where he had a duration out. And look what they made of us. Look what they've done to us, the system. And they've done it to loads of your kids. Like, I can mention names now. And some of you don't even think about them anymore. Why do I sit here and think about Wes Porter, for instance? Do you understand? Half of you don't even know who Wes Porter is, do you? Completely forgot about him. The only people that remember him now is his family and his loved ones. All his mates, all his associates moved on in life. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? But just look at him. How old was Wes? I'd say he was what, 17? Around that age, no, still a young kid, like Craig, before Craig was shot dead. This little Wes Porter was about 18, 17. And he was mixing with the Coulters, who were like 27, 28. And he's caught up in a little bit of a predicament this way. Like most of the youth are, you know, they're involved in gang culture. They've got adults manipulating them, grooming them, having them running around the city being crazy, selling drugs and shit. So this Wes is just like one of them boys off the estates doing madness for the elders. You hear about it more these days. But it weren't considered anything like that in them days. And you know what? I don't know why it can't be brought back and referred to particular cases in the past where kids have been lifed off because they've been coerced into crime, being threatened to remain silent during trials and all this type of shit. That should have been getting looked at in cases such as Wes's. So I'm already in my prison. I'll tell you how I come across Wes in his case, right? So I'm already in my prison sentence. They done their crime 2 years later or something. So I've already been sent. But I'm back at Liverpool Crown Court because since 2002 I'd been taking Merseyside police to civil courts for perverting a course of justice, false imprisonment, assault, all this mad shit, right? And it took 8 years to get it back to court, but because I was in my sentence, they didn't want to let me go to a magistrate or a civil because of my security risk from prison, so they took me to the Crown Court. And whilst I went to the Crown Court for 2 days, so from Parkhurst, I went to Bedford, into Walton, Bloch, Crown Court, Walton, Bloch, Crown Court, Parkhurst, all in 3 or 4 days. Walton didn't want me in the prison. Not because of any danger towards me, because I'd had convictions on the staff and that in the prison. I'd got 18 months for threats to kill on SOA. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they just didn't want me in the prison. So while I'm in the Crown Court dealing with this, I won it. I won the case. They settled out of court. They give me a nice wage, settled out of court. Give some of my brothers good wage as well, settled out. They didn't want it going in the Echo because when all the bullshit was going on, they was putting mad pictures of me and my brothers in the paper like we were these mad things. And then all the charges that they put in the Echo, we were found not guilty on because they'd lied. And they didn't want it going in the Echo, so they settled out of court. The judge just signed this, put a figure on the thing, signed the back of an envelope with this figure, made me sign the back of an envelope with the same figure, and that was it. It was in my bank account whilst I was in jail. Mad. But while I'm in there, these kids are on remand for the murder they're in. The kids are from Stanley Road and Scotty. There's been a little disturbance going on. This Coulter and his friends, I've come across one of the kids off Scotty Road, slammed it, jumped out, chase mode, killed him. They've all been arrested later. So now I'm in the cell with these kids. I knew Coulter because we terrored them years before. This is what I'm saying. We terrored the Coulters and that years ago with Pancake and that. They were having beef with them. And with Spiff and that were having beef with the Coulters. And we bent on it, if you understand what I'm... Well, got encouraged to bend on it, like we always did. So that's how I knew the Coulters. So now, when I'm in these cells in Walton, I'm on him, Andy Coulter, I think his name was. I think it was Andy, or something like that. So anyway, I'm in the cell now, and I was one of them, like, love to read depositions of people's cases, and people used to come to me with the cases, and as soon as I've landed in there, Coulters went, "What do you reckon of this, lad?" Bang. So I'm just going through the summary and shit, and as soon as I'm looking at it, I've got in my head straight away, where's Wes here? This is what I'm thinking when I'm reading these depositions. Why is this kid here? So as soon as I read a bit of it, I said, "What are you here for, Wes?" And he said, "Conspiracy to murder." I said, "Why are you on a conspiracy to murder charge?" I said, "They're saying you have picked the gun up and transferred the gun from A to B. So why aren't you on the possession of a firearm charge, mate? What's going on here?" I'm keeping my mouth shut, lad. This is what I'm hearing this youth say in front of this adult. I'm looking at this Coulter thinking to myself, I've been in this situation, right? And the first thing you do is get him off. You don't expect these kids to keep their mouth shut and go down for 30 wrecks alongside you. Your whole intention, even if you've got to throw your hands in to get these off, that's what you do. Standard procedure, that, people. So I'm looking at this Coulter thinking, "You rats." And as soon as he's gone out for a legal visit, this Coulter, I've said to Wes, "Listen, kid, he can probably bear a fire with his fanbo and that, you know." I've said to him, "You need to get in that dock and say, yeah, listen, these are guilty." This is what I'm saying. These are guilty. They haven't got a hope in the world of getting off with this. If you keep your mouth shut, you're going with them. You need to get in that dock and go, "I'm guilty. I didn't know what the gun had been used for. I'd just done what I'd done loads of times. Picked the gun up from A to B because I felt threatened." Bang, 5 years gone. These made him keep his mouth shut and got him wrecked off. Loyalty there, isn't it? Where's the loyalty lie? And where doesn't it lie in that situation? You know, if them adults were loyal to this kid, they would have got him off. The fact that this kid was loyal to them faking rats got him lifed off. Do you understand what I'm saying to you kids who's listening there? Yous lads that are on that little page, getting a little wage to do a little bit of madness. They are not going to risk anything you're prepared to risk for them. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, lad? Your loyalty is blind because he's got dough. You haven't. That's the only reason you're disfigured in the mind right now. Come away from it. I know some of you don't like me saying that. Do you? Caught up in the game, thinking, oh, he's chatting madness in. You're just not on what I'm on, mate. You're not looking at what I'm looking at. Yeah, well, let's just try and make you look at what I see. How many kids have been killed on your estate? How many kids have been killed in your area? Let's say youthful lads. Did you know them? Yeah. How do you know them? Went to school with them, played footy with them when you were a kid. So, how come one of yous are dead now? Why? Where did the beef come from? Why did it start? They started selling drugs and and we started falling out with each other. Before you know it, a bird's being banged, shit's happening, fatality. The point I'm making to you, lads, is what just benefit from it all, except for death and jail? Who are you killing? Are you killing people you don't know? Are you burning people's houses you don't know? Are you destroying people's lives that you just don't know? Think about what you're doing. You're damaging your own breed. You're destroying your own environment. No one needs to come in. You don't need illegal immigrants to come in and destroy your cities. You've been doing it for years. I was a part of it. I've tapped out of it and can see the damage that is continuing right now. You 17-year-old kids, you're going to grow up, and whether you like it or not, you're probably going to have a child. What do you want your child to be growing up in? Look what our children are growing up in. Our children are growing up in environments where you've got young lads unliving themselves. You've got young girls getting shot dead in their own homes. Similar ages to our kids. This is what our kids are getting raised in. What do you want your kids to get raised in? Because it's going to be 10 times worse if you carry on doing what you're doing. It's as simple as that. The only reason we're seeing all this madness on the streets in Liverpool is because the generation before me and my generation absolutely polluted the whole city with narcotics. You think drugs have been in the city since the 40s?